everyone, welcome to another round of Chitter Chatter. Today we're going to chit chat with JK Hart. But let me tell you, this is a pseudonym for writing. He's a financial professional in the day and a writer by the night. This is his debut novel, A Butterfly Riddle. Well, this novel is about Sid and a lot more, which he will tell you once he joins us Chitter Chatter. And we're going to ask him all about the butterfly riddle. Why the butterfly? Why is there an obsession with the butterfly? Well, let me tell you, I have an obsession with the blue butterflies. So I was a little obsessed with reading the book the moment I got the book and I saw a blue butterfly on the cover. Do you also have any obsession with a particular animal or a bird? Do let me know in this Chitter Chatter. And while you message me, what obsession do you have? I shall send him a request and let's get started with me a butterfly. I myself feel like a butterfly because I love fluttering from one place to the other. Dhakar Factory, hello. Mr. Farman, hello.
Hello.
Hi.
Hey, hi Shweta. Are you able to read me?
So, it's been a long time.
Okay,
We've been
yeah.
waiting for
I
this
know
chit
it's
chat.
overdue, is it?
So, tell us all about a little about Butterfly Riddle. Actually, I would have told them, but I didn't want to give any spoilers. And in my excitement, maybe I would have ended up giving a lot of spoilers. So, as a writer, why don't you tell our viewers about it?
Well, see, Butterfly Riddle is basically, it's a, I have adopted a first-person narration style into this. And see, the idea behind, putting it across is not the experience of the story itself, but the experience of the person who perceives it. So let's say I have narrowed down the line between what you say, the thought process of the character and the reader's imagination. So it's a thin line. So what goes on behind the central character's perspective, or what is this thought process, I wanted to put it across to the readers. So that's what I try to do with Butterfly Riddle.
Well, I think you kind of achieved it also. And I think viewers, if you all are looking for a thrill ride, this is a book that you're going to really enjoy. And you're also going to finish it in the weekend itself because he's kept so many points that whenever you think, okay, you know what, I'm going to take a break from the book, you immediately end up reading another chapter.
Yeah,
that's what you've done with us.
No, I'm glad you like, the experience was good. But yeah, exactly. That is exactly what I wanted to put across to the people.
So when did you decide that, okay, you know what, this is the book, this is a particular story that I want to write, and this is my story for my debut novel?
See, this is not my story, but this is a concept which I had in my mind for a while now. Because the protagonist in this story, the central character in this story, had this dream, right? So I myself had a dream about this butterfly. Okay, it's like it's a dead blue gorgeous butterfly being passed on to you as a parcel, and that dream itself was so profound in nature that it stayed with me for some reason. So it just like over the years, like I had this concept in my mind. It's not that like I never thought I would come up with a book or I would probably write something, but it's just that this concept stayed with me for so long that I wanted to have a break. So I wanted to put it across to the people and the idea. So I feel like it, people are glad with the experience so far.
You are into numbers, being a financial professional, and then suddenly you are a writer where you're playing with words. So was it easy? I mean, the left brain and the right brain.
Okay, that's a tough question. Now, the thing is like, okay, now what you're talking about is like, see, finance is educational, right? And this is a fiction. Fiction is to do with entertainment. Now, these are two different aspects. Eventually, that's where I want to get onto. Like, I want to probably get on to writing something non-fiction. Okay. But this is more like a playground for me. Like I'm trying, it's like an experimental project. I just want to know like how I'm able to connect with the readers, how would they perceive what. So fiction is something which I'm trying to explore. I'm just trying to explore that aspect of writing.
Was it difficult? Because, when you're writing a fiction, and especially when a thriller, which has so many loop points where you have your hooking points and all of those, was it difficult? Did you solve the riddle right in the beginning? Like, okay, this is my story, these are the points, or did you solve it along the line while you were writing?
See, to be honest with you, I never knew what the climax would be, all right? So I had this idea. I wanted to capitalize on that idea. So I started writing. So in the process, let's be honest, like I never knew what the climax was. So like, let's say like 60 to 70% of my, the volume of writing, like like in the process, I gradually realized this is what it is. And there has been numerous instances where like, I have changed the storyline. I have changed the character interactions, and like probably when I was around like 70% of the story, that's when I knew this is where I need to head. So yeah, so climax was never in the outline.
And also, how long did this entire process of writing this book
mm,
take?
See, when I started, I targeted something like 60K to 70K words, which is like a pretty decent average for a novel. So it took me about like say 3 months, 100 days. See, the writing the novel itself is not a problem. It was like pretty convenient aspect of writing it down. But the problem was like, with the outline, like it took me whole lot of time to, figure out the context of the entire story. It took me like a couple of years, like to be honest, to have that outline in place. And I was not serious about it. It's just that it was an idea in my head. So writing took me like probably about 100 days, I would say.
It's very difficult to edit fiction because, and especially when you have yourself written something as a creative person, sometimes either you'll end up editing way too much because you want to add a lot more, and sometimes you like it so much that it's very difficult to edit again because you do not want to edit something that you've created. How difficult was the editing
Uh,
process for you?
Honestly, like I have not edited much of it. Like, uh, I have not spent much time editing it. Like I just went with the flow because the I feel it is more raw. It is not like polished, output which I wanted to give. Like because my target audience was like the normal readers, and I wanted it to keep it raw, so that like people would be able to connect to it. So I have not given that poetic essence to it. No, I have not given that.
But the way story is, the rawness is what adds to the story because the story is about these three
Yes,
guys and it's very casual. So it looks the rawness as to the natural
true.
part of the story. I think if this was very much polished, it would take away from the story. That's my take on the book. And I think people, when you read, please give us your take also. What
Yeah,
do you like about the story? Do review the book and let the author know. DM him, put in the reviews so that, further he knows what you like, not like. Like, frankly, I love the rawness. Because the rawness between the friends and between, like, Sid looked natural to me. He looked like he was somebody whom I know or I can know. If this whole thing was polished, it would be like, okay, he would then become a
true,
character
true.
of a book. Maybe the resonance wouldn't happen as much as it
Right,
happened while I was reading the
right.
story.
No, it makes sense. No, like because as I told, like the idea behind was like connecting to audience from a perspective. It's like what you put across. Like the whole idea about the book is the thought process of Sid. Like what goes on in his mind is what I wanted to portray. It's not the story by itself. Like what happens in the story is secondary, but what happens in the mind of the protagonist is what I try to put across. Like that was my intent behind the book.
So what next now? Now that the butterfly riddle has been fluttering around and it's doing really well, and we keep seeing the reviews that are coming, what next on your line as a writer?
See, there is something which I'm working right now on, and like I have tied up with Invincible Publishers for the same. So it is still a work in progress, and I don't know, like I don't want to quote a timeline to it, but it would be pretty out soon. Like it's something which we are working on, and it's again like a psychological fiction, and yeah, it might take probably a month or so for me to complete it, and then let's see how it goes.
You know, Jay, what is most difficult is as a writer is to overcome the blocks, because you have a story, you know it all, but sometimes the process from putting your story out there on the laptop or paper, there are some certain blocks that come, and I'm sure you must have also faced that during your writing process, or maybe the editing process. So how do you overcome those blocks?
See, to be honest, like it's just one project I have done so far. So, see, I know that writer's block is a real thing, but for me, like the story, when I had this in my mind, probably that is when the writer's block was always there for me. So that's why the idea stayed with me for so long. And but when you start writing it, like you just go with the flow, and you get connected to the characters in the process, and that's what I said. Like when I started the whole project, like I didn't know like where I'm heading to. I didn't know what the climax is, like who would sit fall forward. No idea. Like you just go with it, you just connect with it, and that is my style of putting it across. So I never knew what is the ending like. So yeah.
So now, obviously, when you're writing another book, you've got a lot of reviews. First one, you've been a writer, the debuts happened, and there are a lot of things that change in a person on everyday basis. So I'm sure you've changed as a writer from your debut novel to the current book that you're writing. What is one thing that you feel is
Oh,
a change in you?
okay. Maybe like I'm not an organized person. Like I have never been an organized person. I go with the flow of life. So like probably the idea behind the book and how it has put across, I'm trying to be more organized now. Like you know, put a structure to my life. That's what the takeaway for me from the book probably.
You've been a traveler, like what we see from your posts. You love traveling, you love nature. When it comes to writing, do you prefer writing indoor, or you're somebody who takes a lot of inspiration from
Um,
outdoor?
Probably it depends. It depends. Like when I travel, I don't write much. Like for writing, to me is like when I'm in my own secure space. I just I need to be in that mode. So when I'm in that mode, like I probably like consume a lot of kind of context and keep writing as much as I can. But when I travel, I don't really do any writing of such kind. It's just for the exploration sake of it.
And lastly, I want to know, when you had your book in your hand, it's like when you've created something and you can finally hold it, it's out there. What were the emotions that you went through? Like, the emotions when you knew now tomorrow this is going to be with the public, it's going to be out there for everyone. The emotion that, oh, finally, the dream that I saw is into a story. So tell us all about the emotion that you faced the moment you held your copy in your hand.
Well, to be honest, like I was glad. It was a good feeling. Like, okay, this is something which you have created, and this is what you have got as output. So that feeling was nice. But I was not like what would you say? Like I was happy, but at the same time, I know my limits. So I was not like I just wanted to know how the readers would feel and how they would take it and how they would perceive it. So, like a good proportion of people, I feel they found it nice. It like from an entertainment perspective, it was nice. So the feeling is good. There is a sense of contentment, I would say.
So on this note of contentment, before we end the chatter, do you have your copy around so that we can have a selfie
Yeah,
moment?
I do. If you could give me a moment. I, I really don't
Your
carry it
moment.
around with me, but yeah.
So guys, but your heart, what you have to go get a copy, you review it on Goodreads, Amazon, everywhere. Tell us what you like. You can also DM them if there's anything like or you can, but it's gonna be there for this week, and let's have a selfie moment.
Yep. Go ahead.
Ready?
Perfecto.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Again.
Ready? Yeah. Because it just went blank. So yeah. 1, 2, 3. Okay. Thank you. So Jay, thank you for your time for this chitter chatter, and thank you for writing this lovely psychological thriller. It was a great read for me. It was a weekend that I really enjoyed with my cup of coffee and this book. And like I said, the moment I had the cover in my hand, having an obsession for a blue butterfly, like you can see, the immediately had me, and I was like, okay, I want to solve this butterfly riddle. So thank you once again for the story, for this chitter chatter, and
Thank
wish
you.
you all the
Thank you
best for
so
your
much,
coming book.
Shweta. And it was a good experience talking to you. And did you recently color your tattoo?
No, my tattoo is been now more than I think I got this tattoo in 2017, and I have a thing
Oh, okay.
for blue butterflies. I put that they are my guiding angel, and whenever I have a riddle in mind which I cannot solve, I immediately land up
Oh,
seeing a blue butterfly, and the blue butterfly which I feel are given to me. That's why I got it tattooed. So the moment I saw your cover and I saw that, okay, it's a blue butterfly, it was like, okay, there was a little
oh,
over
okay. Okay.
excitement to read the book.
Nice to hear that. Yeah. All right. It was nice talking to you, Shweta.
So thank you. Likewise, it was amazing having this chitter chatter. And guys, the chitter chatter is going to be on IGTV. So in case you've missed, all you have to do is log in and see the entire chitter chatter and go and online order your books and let us know what you loved about the book and have a
All
great
right.
weekend.
Thank you.